The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink as the sun began to set over the small town of Havenfield. Children laughed and played in the streets while adults finished their daily chores. It was a peaceful evening, ordinary in every way, until a strange flash of light tore through the sky. In the middle of an open field just outside town, a small spacecraft crashed with a loud thud. Smoke rose from its damaged hull, and a few sparks danced around the edges. The ground shook slightly and the animals nearby ran away in fear. No one had ever seen anything like it in Havenfield. Liam, a young scientist working at the local research lab, was the first to arrive at the crash site. His curiosity always led him to unusual places, and tonight was no different. He carefully approached the smoking spacecraft, his heart pounding in both fear and excitement. From the wreckage, a figure emerged. It was small, humanoid, but unlike any human Liam had ever seen. Her skin had a faint silvery glow, and her eyes were large and deep, reflecting the fading sunlight. She stumbled slightly, her movements unsure, as if she had never walked on Earth before. Liam stepped forward cautiously.
"Hello?"
He said softly. "Are you okay?" The alien girl looked at him, her eyes wide with curiosity and confusion. She spoke, but the sounds that came from her mouth were strange and musical, unlike any language Liam had ever heard. He frowned, realizing he couldn't understand her words. Seeing his confusion, the girl, who Liam would later learn was named Ayla, pointed to herself and then to him, trying to make a connection. She seemed nervous but not dangerous. Her hands glowed faintly as if she were testing something about her surroundings. Liam took a deep breath and smiled gently. "I think you're trying to talk to me. I can help you." He pulled out a small device from his pocket, one he had been developing to translate basic alien sounds. "Maybe this will help us understand each other." The device hummed softly, and to Liam's amazement it started converting Ayla's strange sounds into simple English words. "Help me learn," the device translated. Liam's eyes widened. "You want to learn? That's wonderful," he said. He offered her his hand. "I'm Liam, you're safe here. My home is nearby. Come with me." Ayla hesitated, looking around the field as if checking for danger. Finally, she nodded and took his hand. She was light, almost weightless, and Liam realized she must be from a world with lower gravity than Earth. Together they walked back toward town, the strange light of her spacecraft still glowing faintly behind them. When they reached Liam's home, he guided her inside and offered water. Ayla drank carefully, fascinated by the sensation of liquid on her tongue. She laughed softly, a sound like chimes, when she realized it tasted different from what she had imagined. Liam spent hours showing her simple objects, a spoon, a book, a lamp. Ayla's eyes lit up with wonder at everything. She touched each item with awe, turning it in her hands, trying to understand its purpose. She seemed especially fascinated by the human ability to create tools and machines, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Humans. Clever," she said, her words halting but understandable. Liam smiled, feeling proud and amazed at the connection forming between them. Outside, the townspeople had gathered, whispering and pointing at Liam's home. They were curious, some frightened by the strange girl who seemed to glow under the lights of his porch. Liam stepped outside briefly to calm them. "She means no harm," he said firmly. "She's lost and wants to learn. She's not dangerous." Some townspeople were still unsure, but most nodded slowly. Curiosity often outweighed fear in Havenfield, and soon whispers of excitement replaced the murmurs of worry. Inside, Liam and Ayla sat together as the sun disappeared completely behind the horizon. Liam realized she had no idea how humans lived, how they ate, slept, or even felt emotions, and yet there was something about her presence that was gentle, innocent, and entirely sincere. "I will teach you," Liam said softly, placing a hand over hers. "We will learn from each other. You will understand humans, and maybe we can help you too." Ayla looked at him, her large eyes reflecting the room's warm light. She nodded, and for the first time she spoke clearly in English, her voice musical but hesitant. "Friend, Liam." And so the first spark of a unique bond was born, between a human who dared to reach out and an alien girl who had come to Earth seeking understanding. Neither knew what challenges awaited them, but in that quiet evening, filled with curiosity and wonder, a story of discovery and friendship began. The night grew darker, but the room felt bright with possibilities. Somewhere far above the Earth, Ayla's damaged spacecraft lay in the field, a silent reminder that she had come from another world. But for now, she was here, and she had found a friend. The next morning, sunlight poured through the windows of Liam's lab, catching the faint shimmer of Ayla's silvery skin. She sat cross-legged on the floor, her large eyes scanning the room with curiosity. Every object was new and strange to her: beakers, computers, books, and small mechanical tools. Liam entered carrying breakfast, a plate with toast, eggs, and fruit. "Good morning, Ayla. Ready to learn more about humans today?" he asked. Ayla tilted her head, studying the food. She reached for a piece of fruit, sniffed it, and hesitated. Then she took a cautious bite. Her eyes widened with delight. "Sweet, good," she said. Liam smiled. Teaching her about everyday life was harder than he had imagined, but also more rewarding. "Humans eat in many ways," he explained. "We cook food, we use hands or tools, and we enjoy sharing meals together." He gestured to the toast. "Like this." Ayla tried to mimic him, spreading butter with a knife, but ended up flicking some onto the floor. She looked embarrassed, but laughed softly, the sound musical and light. Liam chuckled. "It's okay. You will learn. Humans make mistakes too." After breakfast, Liam decided it was time to teach Ayla some language basics. Words and grammar came slowly, and sometimes she got confused. She would point at objects and call them by unusual names or combine words in funny ways. "Lamplight. Bright stick," she exclaimed, pointing to a lamp. Liam laughed. "Close enough," he said. "You're learning, and that's what matters." Outside, the town began to buzz. Children peeked through the windows, fascinated by the strange girl. Some were brave enough to come inside. They approached Ayla cautiously, holding out toys and books. At first, Ayla was nervous, unsure how to interact. But when one child offered her a small toy robot, she studied it carefully, then smiled. "Friend metal," she said, pressing the robot to her chest. The children giggled, delighted by her strange but charming words. However, not everything went smoothly. Some adults remained suspicious. "What if she is dangerous?" One neighbor whispered to another. "We don't know where she came from." Liam overheard the murmurs and sighed. He had expected curiosity, but fear and suspicion were more common than he liked. To ease tensions, Liam invited some of the town's adults into the lab. He explained that Ayla was peaceful and curious, not harmful. He showed them her gentle interactions with the children, and even demonstrated her small ability to float briefly off the ground. The adults gasped, but slowly they began to understand. Humans were cautious, but they also admired cleverness, and what they saw in Ayla was intelligence beyond their world. Meanwhile, Ayla's fascination with humans continued. She studied the way people worked together, how they laughed, argued, and solved problems. She tried to mimic their behavior, sometimes creating confusion. One time, she attempted to sweep the floor with her hand hovering above it, thinking she could move the dust with energy. Instead, dust scattered everywhere, and she looked puzzled. Liam chuckled and guided her. "Humans use brooms for this. You can use energy later." Despite the small misunderstandings, their bond grew stronger. Ayla was learning, but so was Liam. He realized that humans were not only clever, but also adaptable. Seeing Ayla struggle and experiment reminded him of how humans could face challenges with creativity and patience. As the sun set, Liam suggested a walk outside. Ayla's eyes sparkled with excitement. The two of them wandered through the fields near Havenfield, watching the wind ripple through tall grass. Ayla pointed to the clouds, trying to describe their shapes. "Soft, float, sky friends," she said, and Liam laughed. Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted the calm. A flock of birds took flight, startled by something unseen. Ayla's eyes widened, and she instinctively raised her hand. A faint glow shimmered around her fingers, calming the birds and allowing them to settle again. Liam's jaw dropped. You helped them?" he asked. Ayla nodded, a small smile on her face. She was beginning to understand the effect she could have on the world, but in her innocent way, she did not yet understand the limits or risks. On the way back to town, Ayla tried to imitate human gestures, waving at strangers and nodding politely. Some townspeople smiled, others looked confused. Liam held her hand, guiding her gently. "You will learn," he said softly. "Humans are strange but kind if you try to understand them." That night, as Ayla sat quietly by the window, Liam reflected on the day. It had been full of mistakes, laughter, and small victories. Teaching her about humans was more challenging than he had expected, but it was also deeply rewarding. He realized that their relationship was more than teacher and student. It was friendship, a connection that bridged worlds. Ayla looked up at the stars, her large eyes reflecting their distant light. She whispered, "Humans, strange, strong." Liam smiled and nodded. She had already begun to see the resilience and cleverness that made humans special. And so the days passed, each one filled with discoveries, missteps, and laughter. Ayla was learning about humans, and humans through Liam were learning about her. Their bond deepened, not just through words, but through shared experiences and mutual respect. Little did they know, this peaceful learning would soon face challenges. Outside their small town, forces from Ayla's world were already searching for her, and the humans of Havenfield would soon be tested in ways they had never imagined. But for now, under the soft glow of Earth, sun, and moon, a unique friendship blossomed, one that could change both worlds forever. The morning sun spilled over Havenfield, casting long shadows across the streets. Liam had just finished preparing breakfast when Ayla entered the kitchen, her eyes wide with curiosity as usual. But today there was something different about her. Her gaze seemed sharper, more focused, as if she had discovered something new within herself. "Good morning, Ayla," Liam said cheerfully. "Ready for another day of learning?" Ayla nodded, but her attention kept drifting to small sparks of light that flickered in her hands as she moved. She didn't fully understand it yet, but she had begun to realize that she could control energy in subtle ways. Flowers in a vase quivered slightly when she passed by, and the morning kettle whistled on its own when she touched it. Liam noticed the faint glow and tilted his head. "Ayla, what is happening?" he asked, a mixture of awe and concern in his voice. "I don't know," Ayla said, her voice soft. "It moves when I want." She raised her hand and directed a small flicker of light toward the window, making the curtains sway. Her eyes lit up with amazement. Like magic, but real. Liam realized it was time to teach her control. He led her to the open field behind his house, a safe place to experiment. "Humans are careful with power," he said. "You have to learn to use it wisely or you might accidentally hurt something." Ayla concentrated, and with guidance from Liam, she learned to lift small stones with energy, making them float gently in the air. Birds landed nearby, watching with curiosity, but Ayla focused carefully, ensuring no harm came to them. She laughed softly when the stones hovered perfectly in a circle above her head. "This is incredible," Liam said. "You have abilities humans can only dream of. But it's not just strength or skill that matters, it's how you use it." As the day went on, Ayla continued to experiment. She learned to create small energy shields to block falling branches, and even heated a small patch of water in a bucket without touching it. Liam watched her, amazed by her intelligence and creativity. "Humans are clever," she said again, her voice soft. "But humans are small." Liam laughed. "We may be small, but we're adaptable. We find ways to survive even in tough situations. That's what makes us strong." By afternoon, word of Ayla's abilities began to spread in the town. Some people were fascinated while others were frightened. A group of children came to watch her lift small rocks and make sparks dance in the air. They clapped and cheered, thrilled by the display, while some adults muttered worries about safety. To ease the tension, Liam decided to demonstrate how Ayla's powers could help humans. When an old tree in the park threatened to fall near the playground, Ayla concentrated and used a soft energy barrier to keep the branches from crashing down. Everyone watched in awe as she carefully moved the dangerous parts away, ensuring the children could play safely. Humans. "Clever," Ayla whispered again, this time with admiration. She was learning not only about humans' intelligence but also about their courage and problem-solving skills. Later, Liam suggested a practical exercise. "Let's see how you can combine your abilities with human creativity," he said. Together they designed a simple water-lifting device, using Ayla's energy to pump water from a small stream into buckets. The device worked, and the townspeople were amazed. Humans and alien abilities working together could accomplish things neither could do alone. As evening fell, Ayla sat with Liam on a hill overlooking Havenfield. The town looked peaceful from above, lights twinkling like stars scattered on Earth. "Humans, brave," she said softly. "Even small, but brave," Liam smiled. "Yes, Ayla. Humans have flaws, but we also have courage, creativity, and determination. That's why we can face challenges even when we're afraid." Suddenly, a strange noise echoed from the forest beyond the hill. Liam tensed. That doesn't sound natural. Ayla's eyes widened, and instinctively a faint glow surrounded her hands. She stood, ready to protect both herself and Liam. From the shadows, a group of creatures appeared, alien scouts sent from Ayla's homeworld. They were advanced, sleek, and intimidating. Their mission was clear: find Ayla and return her. Liam realized that the peaceful days of learning and discovery were about to be tested. Ayla stepped forward, her confidence growing with every day she spent learning from humans. She held her hands out, creating a shimmering barrier. The creatures paused, studying her energy, surprised by the control and precision she now displayed. Liam stood beside her, holding a simple stick in his hand, ready to assist in any way he could. Though humans were small and fragile compared to the scouts, their ingenuity and teamwork gave them an advantage. Liam whispered, "We will be clever together, Ayla. We will not give up." Ayla nodded, her eyes determined. Humans, clever, brave, help. The scouts hesitated, unsure how to proceed. Liam realized this was the first real test of Ayla's abilities, and of human cleverness. What they did next would determine not just her safety, but whether humans and aliens could work together against challenges far greater than themselves. And so, as the sun disappeared completely and the sky turned deep indigo, a quiet tension filled the field. The bond between Liam and Ayla had grown stronger, and now it would be tested in ways they had never imagined. The story of discovery and friendship was evolving, and the days of simple learning were coming to an end. Adventure and danger awaited. The forest surrounding Havenfield was quiet, but the calm was deceiving. Shadows moved among the trees as the alien scouts advanced, their sleek forms gliding effortlessly over the undergrowth. Liam held Ayla's hand tightly, his heart pounding. He had spent days teaching her about humans and their world, but now those lessons would be tested against a force far more advanced than anything they had seen. "We need a plan," Liam whispered, crouching behind a fallen tree. "We can't fight them directly, they're too strong. But maybe we can outsmart them." Ayla nodded, her glowing hands pulsing softly. "Trick, humans clever, help." She had learned to trust Liam's guidance, and together they were a team. The scouts paused in a small clearing, scanning the area with sharp, glowing eyes. They communicated with clicks and vibrations, assessing the threat. Liam and Ayla stayed hidden, waiting for the right moment. Liam noticed a series of fallen logs and rocks nearby. He whispered his idea to Ayla. "We can make them think the forest is full of traps. Use your powers to move objects, make noises, confuse them." Ayla's eyes lit up. "Yes, confuse. Clever." She focused, and small stones floated from one side of the clearing to the other, knocking against trees with soft thuds. Leaves rustled unnaturally and shadows flickered, making it appear as though the forest itself was alive. The scouts tilted their heads, uncertain as their sensors tried to process the SE. Strange signals, Liam added his part. He gathered branches and tied them to tripwires, creating simple but effective obstacles. "Humans are small, but we can be clever," he said with determination. "Sometimes brains are stronger than strength." The first scout stepped forward, unaware of the hidden traps. A tripwire snapped under its foot, sending a net of leaves and ropes flying. It yelped in surprise and stumbled backward. Ayla focused her energy, creating a shield to block any retaliation and directing floating stones to gently nudge the scouts away from their intended path. The scouts regrouped, clearly frustrated. Liam realized that they were trying to predict human behavior, and human ingenuity was exactly what they didn't expect. "Keep moving things," he whispered to Ayla. "Make the forest unpredictable. Think like humans, act like humans." Ayla smiled faintly, her confidence growing. She raised her hands, and small bursts of energy caused branches to sway and shadows to dance across the clearing. Every movement she made was precise, controlled, and creative. The scouts hesitated, unsure how to navigate the strange, shifting environment. Then Liam had an idea. He grabbed his small portable computer and a flashlight. "I can make signals, noises, lights like a false path," he whispered. Together, they created a trail of distractions leading deeper into the forest. The scouts, overconfident, followed the false trail, leaving Liam and Ayla space to move. Hours passed as they worked, the moon climbing higher in the sky. Finally, the scouts seemed completely disoriented, circling in confusion. Liam and Ayla watched from the shadows, smiling quietly. Humans. Clever, Ayla whispered again, admiration in her voice. She had begun to understand why humans, despite being physically smaller, were capable of great ingenuity. But the challenge was not yet over. One scout, the leader, had realized the deception. It moved swiftly toward them, its glowing eyes piercing the darkness. Ayla's heart raced. Leader? Strong, she whispered. Liam nodded, thinking quickly. We have to combine our skills. Distract it, then hide. Ayla focused her energy, creating a brilliant flash that caught the scout off guard. Liam ran to a nearby hollow, dragging her with him. The scout lunged, but the obstacles, energy bursts, and clever positioning kept it at bay. Liam whispered encouragements. Almost there. Just a little more cleverness. Using the final part of their plan, Ayla directed floating rocks toward the scout, making it stumble into a thick patch of vines and roots. It struggled, and Liam quickly tied it with ropes he had prepared earlier. The scout was trapped, confused and frustrated, unable to pursue them any further. Breathing heavily, Liam and Ayla stepped out of their hiding place. The forest was calm again, the danger temporarily gone. Ayla looked up at the night sky, her hands still glowing faintly from exertion. Human, small, brave, she whispered, repeating her earlier realization. Clever, strong. Together. Liam smiled, feeling proud. Yes, Ayla. Humans are small, but when we work together, we can overcome challenges even bigger than ourselves. You've learned much, and so have I. As they walked back to Havenfield, they knew the scouts might return, but now they had proof that human creativity, combined with Ayla's abilities, could overcome even the most advanced threats. The bond between them was stronger than ever. Trust, courage, and ingenuity had saved the day. That night, as they watched the stars together, Liam felt a deep sense of hope. The future was uncertain, but with friendship, clever thinking, and determination, humans and aliens could face any challenge. Ayla, glowing faintly in the moonlight, nodded beside him. She had found not only a teacher in Liam, but also a partner and friend who showed her the strength and cleverness of humans. The adventure was far from over. Forces from her homeworld were still searching, but Liam and Ayla were ready. Together they would continue to explore, learn, and prove that even the smallest beings could change the course of events with courage, cleverness, and unity. The morning sun rose over Havenfield, casting golden light on the quiet streets. After the events in the forest, the town felt different. People whispered not in fear, but in curiosity and admiration. Word had spread of Ayla's abilities and of how humans and an alien girl had worked together to outsmart the scouts from her world. Liam sat outside with Ayla, watching the birds fly overhead. Her silvery skin glowed faintly in the morning light, and her large eyes reflected both wonder and understanding. Today we can take it slow, Liam said gently. You've learned so much, and now people see you as not strange, but special. Ayla tilted her head, trying to understand the concept. Special? Humans? She asked. Yes, Liam said. Humans are clever, brave, and capable of great things. You've seen it yourself. Ayla nodded thoughtfully, recalling the way humans had used obstacles, clever plans, and simple tools to overcome the alien scouts. She had watched courage in action, and now she understood. Humans, strong, clever, brave, she repeated, a small smile forming on her lips. The townspeople were cautious at first, but Liam had encouraged meetings so Ayla could interact with them safely. Children gathered around her, fascinated by her glowing hands and soft musical voice. Adults observed quietly, impressed by her careful and gentle ways. Slowly, the fear that had followed her arrival began to fade, replaced with curiosity and respect. One of the elders approached Liam and Ayla. We were worried, he admitted. But now we see you mean no harm. And we see what humans can do when they work together, even with someone from another world. Ayla listened intently, her eyes wide. Human good, she whispered. She had come to Earth unsure and alone, but now she realized that humans were not only clever but also capable of kindness and friendship. As the day progressed, Liam suggested they test her abilities in positive ways, showing townspeople how Ayla could help rather than harm. Together they created a small energy field to help water the town's gardens, lift logs for construction, and even gently guide lost animals back home. Children laughed as Ayla floated small stones and leaves, making them dance in the air like magic. Through these simple actions, Ayla taught humans something too, that intelligence and power were not just about strength. They were about creativity, empathy, and teamwork. Humans had already begun teaching her, and now she was teaching them in return. By evening, the town gathered to celebrate the strange but wonderful friendship that had developed. Liam and Ayla stood side by side as the community admired their work. Lights from houses and lanterns glimmered, casting soft reflections on Ayla's glowing skin. Children ran around, imitating her gentle gestures while adults exchanged smiles, finally understanding the potential of cooperation between species. Liam placed a hand on Ayla's shoulder. "You've grown so much since the day you arrived," he said. "Not just in abilities, but in understanding humans and how we live." Ayla looked up at him, eyes full of gratitude. "I learn humans. Good. Strong, clever, brave," she said slowly, carefully choosing each word. "I stay. Earth, yes," Liam replied. "You are welcome here, Ayla. Not just as a guest, but as a friend. We can learn together, explore together, and grow together." Ayla smiled, her confidence shining. She had come to Earth with no understanding of humans, and now she felt at home. The lessons of trust, courage, and cleverness had taken root. She realized that the differences between humans and her kind did not matter. What mattered was respect, friendship, and the willingness to learn from one another. That night, Liam and Ayla walked to the edge of the fields, looking at the stars above. The moon reflected on the peaceful town below, and the distant wreckage of Ayla's spaceship reminded them both of how far she had come. "Humans and small but strong," Ayla said quietly. "Clever, brave. Together." "Yes," Liam agreed. "Together we can face anything. Humans are special because we never give up, even when the odds are against us. And you've shown us that different worlds can work together in harmony." Somewhere far above, the scouts from Ayla's homeworld were still searching, but now they would find something unexpected. Humans had not only survived, they had proven their ingenuity, courage, and strength. Ayla's trust in humans was complete, and the town of Havenfield had embraced the opportunity to learn and grow alongside someone from another world. As they returned home, the bond between Liam and Ayla felt unbreakable. The story of discovery, learning, and courage had come full circle. Humans and aliens working together with mutual respect had created something extraordinary, and so, under the starlit sky, a new chapter began, not of conflict or fear, but of friendship, curiosity, and hope. The Earth was no longer just a home for humans. It had become a place where worlds could meet, learn from each other, and create a brighter future together. Ayla turned to Liam, her voice soft but full of certainty. "Humans, special. I stay, friend." Liam smiled, placing his hand over hers. "Yes, Ayla, friends forever. And who knows? Together we might even explore the stars." The night was quiet, filled with promise. In Havenfield, humans had proved their cleverness and courage, and an alien girl had learned the power of trust, respect, and friendship. Their journey had only just begun, but already it shone as a testament to what could happen when two worlds came together, not as enemies, but as friends.